Jeremy, is that fucking you? Are you ready to get the blap blap with my face? Hello, Aromas. This is Aromie here. Welcome back to our life. Today we are going to be diving into a birthday DLC. Ooh, already loving this. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone brightly and the breeze tugged lightly at the balloons strung around the park. You and Cove had just been dropped off at Miranda Eckerd's Miranda Eckerd's birthday party. You didn't really know Miranda. To be honest, I don't. Last year was the first time you had class with her, and everyone at school knew her as quiet. The shy girl stuck to her own friend group like glue. It had been a surprise that she was having such a big party. You looked around the expansive park, a spacious recreation center in the next town over, and noticed the bouncy castle. Miranda had a bit of a reputation for not caring. She acted mature, like other teens sometimes did. It made a certain amount of sense that her party would match that. Wait, what? Not caring she acted mature? Yet you have a bouncy house? That's not mature. You thought Miranda was sweet, you thought Miranda was weird, you didn't have any opinion of Miranda yet. You wanted to get to know Miranda better. I don't have any opinion because I don't know who she is, so no opinion. Miranda was a stranger for the most part. What you're supposed to think of a person you didn't know. You hadn't had a chance in coming here today. Your moms insisted on it after you got the invitation, as did Cove's mom and dad. But we don't know her. I guess she was just being polite and invited the whole class, because some schools tell you to do that. Not my school, to be honest. You got invited if you got invited. But apparently some schools around here in this state that I'm currently in enforce that, because they don't want to increase bullying. I don't fucking know. I don't know. So both you and her and he were driven over to the next town with presents in tow. All the parents had been pretty firm about going to a birthday if you'd been invited, but I don't know who she is. You agreed it was best to attend. You wondered if it was an adult thing. You were happy to be here. You wish you were somewhere else. You felt out of place. You were willing to give it a chance. I feel out of place. Okay, I guess this episode, your girl's gonna be negative Nancy. Nothing seemed to welcome you. You stood next to Cove and stared out at the chaos with a butterfly in your stomach. Cove made a small noise which caught your attention. He looked around, scanning the area. He fidgeted with his gift in hand. Oh, look at us. We're both nervous. This is gonna be a good combo. Any idea what we're supposed to do with these? You looked at your own present and then towards the seating area. There was a table full of snacks and drinks, supplies for various party games. Past all that, you spotted one table in the back that seemed to have a truckload of gifts. You pointed it out to Cove. Let's drop the presents off over there. Cove nodded with a smile and turned to where you gestured. He saw it too. Cool. You and Cove began to walk over to the present table, flattening the well-trimmed grass beneath your feet. You walked past groups of people, classmates in semicircles, broken up into the usual friend groups, chatted away. You or maybe Cove received the occasional greeting or friendly nod. Oh shit. However, as you passed by even more people that you had never seen before, you become aware there were more strangers here than not. It was more crowded than you expected. Miranda Eckerd, the quiet girl, was hosting the most populated birthday party you had been to in a long time. Did her parents do this, or is she like the quiet girl, but like once you get to know her, she's like super outgoing? Because if so, I can understand. You looked at the new faces and thought you saw something of Miranda in them. Cousins, nieces, or nephews, maybe. Parties could be a big deal in her family. Oh, and that could be true. The both of you reached a table. You set your gift down in an empty space, brushing some confetti aside, and Cove places gently next to it. He looked at the present thoughtfully.
Hey.
What did you get her? Before you had a chance to answer, Cove opened his mouth again and tapped his gift. I found this sparkly backpack. I figured she could use it for school or a trip or something. You're so cute. Has he always had his shirt unbuttoned? By the way. Your mom had taken you out shopping the other day. You searched through the store and ultimately, is there a stationery or something? Because your girl, boom. You picked, a stuffed animal. But like, would she be into that? Because if she's mature. You grabbed a necklace and bracelet set. You had found a light-hearted adventure book. You chose a yarn craft that made a toy. You let your mom's pick. Your mom didn't appreciate what you had picked and chose something else. Fuck yeah, I'm getting her stuffed animal. The wide eyes of the other otter plush had cute. Otter plush had called to you. You weren't sure what in its face made you think of Miranda, but it seemed appropriate. Your mom had agreed that it was a fine present and helped you wrap it. You described it to Cove briefly and he had no objections. Not a bad idea. He brushed his hands against the side of his pants. I really hope Miranda likes her gifts, but I think we both did good. I mean, for not knowing her, I mean, I think we couldn't go wrong. I mean, unless she hates otters, then I done fucked up. And if she hates sparkly stuff, then Cove done fucked up. With that, he gave you a sunny grin. He touched the gift one more time and then stepped away. Without the direction of needing to put stuff away, the two of you weren't sure what to do next. You felt a little awkward, and Cove shrunk in on himself as he looked around. There were more guests heading to the present table, so you turned away and wandered over to a nearby tree where you would have been in the way. From there, you both inspected the area and planned the next step. You were glad that Cove had been invited too. At least you had his company in this unfamiliar place. You watched him and he gave you a nervous grin. He reassured you a little and you smiled back. What next? Cove did not appreciate being put on the spot. He was just as unsure as you were. Birthday party stuff? It didn't seem to be time for cake. What with people still arriving? Nothing else seemed to be organized. Wait, what? Nothing else seemed to be organizing yet either. He noticed that himself and tried again. We could find Miranda? That was an idea. It made sense to greet the birthday girl. Okay, we could say hello. Wish her happy birthday. Ask her what she wants people to do.
Sounds good.
The two of us are both so nervous that it balances out somehow. At that point, it was decided that the Miranda hunt had begun. You wandered around. Anytime you saw some of Miranda's hair color, you got a little closer, but more than once it turned out to not actually be her. Hey, look! Finally, you pointed over to the real Miranda. She smiled slightly when you both approached but ducked her head. She seemed a little overwhelmed with being the center of attention today. Hi, Miranda! Oh my gosh, she is gonna love Cove's gift and hate mine because I didn't get her a unicorn. I got her an otter instead. I'm sorry, Miranda. You can give it to somebody else if you don't want it. Hi, Cove. Hi, Michiko. Happy birthday. Oh, look at his nervous little smile. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm really glad you could come.
Oh, okay, the whole sentence was voiced. Thank God my voice was dying. Y'all stood awkwardly. Miranda did seem genuinely happy, but there was still distance between you. This is a great looking party. Thank you. Is there something we need to do, or should we just hang out?
Oh, well, you can talk to people if you want. There are games that are gonna start soon.
Just hearing a full sentence is so nice, and I feel like it's like fully sentenced because, you know, they're one-time characters maybe on. And the bounce house should open later if you feel like jumping. Then after that, it's cake and present time. We'll have ice cream too. Yo, the present time is gonna be so awkward. I don't like it when people like everyone's just watching you open gifts. It's like, oh god damn, okay. Like, cause your girl is very expressive in the face. You're gonna easily notice if I don't like your gift. And I hate that. After that is when people will start going home. I hope that's okay with you guys. Cove nodded. He seemed a little more confident about the situation now. Thanks for letting us know. You grinned at her and she nodded back. Miranda waited there and you became hyper aware of the silence forming. You heard a shout of Randy and Miranda brightened up. A total 180 with how stiff she had been with you.
I gotta talk to some more people. Goodbye.
Alright, see ya, Miranda. The birthday girl ran off to her friend, leaving you and Cove with at least a little more idea of what to expect. You both glanced at each other wordlessly. All that was left now was finding something to fill time until activities began. You tried to chat with people around. Fuck that. You just talked with Cove. You found a quiet spot to sit. You just stood where you were. Can we find a quiet spot to sit but talk to Cove at the same time? Is he gonna follow me? Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm worried he won't follow me to talk with me. But I also don't want him to think I'm just leaving him. You know, I just talk to him, I guess. You started talking about how you felt about this kind of birthday party, and what you wanted to do for your next party. Cove made the occasional suggestion. The conversation became silly as you started joking about ridiculous party ideas. Cove wanted a moon party, and you wondered if anyone ever had tried to make a cake big enough to be the party location. You wanted a moon party? Like the literal moon? Oh my god, you're coming after my heart. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed over the crowd. The constant buzz of conversation dropped as one of the adults, maybe Miranda's dad, asked the kids to gather around because it was game time. I wonder what's gonna happen. shrugged. You can't scan the area to make a guess. You made a joke about something that wasn't going to happen. Let's joke around. We were joking around earlier, right? Joke around. We're gonna play high stakes poker. It's obvious. Obvious, huh? Look at this crowd. Most of the guests were teenagers around your age, but there were also quite a few adults and some younger kids. Cove nodded sagely at a group of little kids. Yeah, these are high rollers. The adult announced that the children under 10 had the first turn on the bounce house. For everyone else, it was time to play pin the tail on the donkey. I've never tried that game, and I feel like it's very dangerous. Unless it's a magnet tail now. Cole raised his eyebrows. He was surprised for sure. You're excited. You thought it was kind of silly. You're a little weirded out. You're fine with the game. You didn't know how this would go. You thought it was kind of silly. It was such a kid's game. The fact that this was planned for a party full of teens was a little crazy. You reluctantly joined the line since that was what you were supposed to do and you didn't feel like arguing. The one birthday party I went to, we had like a water balloon fight and that was pretty fun. The donkey in question was a cartoony poster with big eyes that looked more like ping pong balls. It was positioned a few feet above the ground on a tree trunk. The teen who arrived first was blindfolded and then spun around. He was nudged to the side and away from the other kids so he wouldn't stick someone with the tail instead. Unfortunately for him, he placed the tail on the donkey's head like some kind of bizarre earring. He wouldn't be winning that far from the target. His next opponent did far better by landing it on the donkey's back. The spectators clapped politely and the line moved up. 4 teens tried their hand at it. Some got closer than others, but no one had gotten it perfect yet. Soon it was Cove's turn. Oh, is he gonna magically get it correct? He was blindfolded and spun just like the other kids. At this point, it was a close match and Aaron was watching the bit with bated breath. Cove approached a donkey and stuck the tail on without any hesitation. Cove stood back and removed his blindfold, cheering when he saw how close he was. He turned his head over his shoulder and grinned at you. Oh, he's so cute! Your turn. I hope I win. You shook your head and stepped out of line. You took your turn. What the fuck? No, take my turn. I waited in line for what? With the blindfold on the bright park, it became utterly dark. As you were spun around, the sounds around you seemed to get louder. At least you could tell the direction of the bounce house from the shrieks of the younger children. You stopped spinning and stepped forward, tail in hand. It was time to give it a stab. You placed it directly in front of you. You placed it to the right. You placed it to the left. You reached and placed it up. You bit and placed it down. I think I would go to the right. I'm probably wrong. Whatever. You pressed the tail into the target and stepped back. You took your blindfold off to check your results. There was some more clapping from the audience. The tail wasn't too far off. Behind you there was a particularly enthusiastic ooh, and a few people mentioned how close you got. You smiled and looked back at Cove. He seemed amused. His tail wasn't off by much either, and you couldn't tell which of you was winning. They were just too nearby each other. A few more kids took their turn. One girl managed to somehow pin the tail on the opposite side of the tree. You're pretty sure it had to be on purpose. With the line empty, the game was finally over. The adult running thing started to inspect the donkey. At this point, the sign was more tails than donkey. In the end, someone you didn't know was announced as the winner. You and Cove both exchanged a look even as you clapped politely. Huh. He sighed. He looked back at the board. I was so close too. You were also disappointed it was a good game. You shrugged it off. You teased him. Aww. Let's tease him to make him feel better. Someone's really down, especially over what's just a kid's game. Seriously, Michiko? You grinned cheekily and Cove eventually rolled his eyes to smile too. Oh wait, are you really offended? He watched the winner and considered whether to say anything to them. Wait, Cove, don't be a party pooper. I'm sure the prize wasn't that good anyway. He hesitated, however, and ended up not approaching the team. An older teen walked up, tall enough to tower over you and Cove. You felt a little intimidated by the stern-faced teenager until she started to speak. Her voice was a little bit friendlier than her tough frown would suggest. Hi, I'm handing out party favors. Do you want one? She showed you party hats. She insisted they were the key to a true partying mood. She had 2 options, either a colorful headband with 2 tiny party hats arranged almost like ears, or a tiara with a star on it. They were both very festive. I like the first option.
It's okay.
No thanks, Cove. Well, I want one. You knew the teen hadn't actually glared at him. Her default facial expression just seemed grim. You wanted one of the headbands. Pink! The teenager handed you the hat with a surprising amount of gusto. Given her expression never changed, she gave you a serious thumbs up for taking it. Then you encouraged... No, he doesn't want one. I already teased him. He didn't like that. Should I just say fuck it anyway? I don't wanna press too many buttons on Cove though, you know? But we're friends at the same time. Come on, Cove. You held a pink headband hat in one hand and a crown in the other. You try to imagine what they look like on Cove. You really should try it, it'd be great. Cove looked back at the hats, then at you. With a sigh, he grabbed hold. Aw, he just gave in to me. You shouldn't do that, or else you're spoiling me. The scene with the hats clapped as much as she could with all the hats in her hands. The unknown teenager nodded approvingly at you both and went to pass out hats to more people. You put the party hat on your head with a smile and it fit well. It was surprisingly comfortable. It really completes your look. When did you get so fashionable? Oh, when did you get so flirtatious? I'm kidding, you're not flirting with me. He smirked and you just adjusted your new accessory. I'm a party animal now. It does look very good on me. Thanks. I don't know what I'm doing. No, I'm gonna be like, it does look very good on me. You looked him straight in the eye and he seemed unsure of how to handle that reaction to his statement. He floundered for a second until he came up with a response. You don't have to brag. Okay, you were just like shook at my confidence, weren't you? He struck a pose and he rolled his eyes. Oh, you're so cute. Oh my god. Sorry. Not sorry at the same time. Cole finally put his own hat on. He was nervous about it, his face uncertain. I don't know about this. I feel kind of silly. Does it look weird? You look great, Cub. It's completely perfect. It looks silly. You shook your head no. It's completely perfect. His instant reaction's like, what, really? Cole scratched his head, being careful not to displace. Oh my god! Displace his hat, blushes on his cheeks. Thank you. After that, the people in charge quickly set up the next game. Teenagers smiled about until they were told to find partners. You try to listen to the rules, strain your ears to listen to the adult announcing what you were supposed to do. It was a simple game. One person in a pair would throw a candy, while the other had to catch it in their mouth. Oh hell no. If you caught it, what if you choke? The pair would move on to the next round where everyone would take a step back and the former catcher would become the thrower. What if you choke? The game would continue, the players getting further and further until one set of partners were the only ones left standing, or everyone lost in a round. About half of the guests had already found partners. They moved fast. You noticed Cove had his eyes on you. Oh, I mean, who else? Who else is there? Glee partners? It's so cute that he thinks he has to ask. I thought it was a given. Neither of you were all that familiar with anyone else here. It'd be safe choice to pair up. Unless there's suddenly contender out of here. You agree to be Cove's partner. Let's do it, partner. Cool. He beamed and you started wondering about your respective candy catching. What? I'm catching the candy? We're gonna choke. We're going to choke. Two rows of players facing each other formed. Cove tilted his head towards them and he started to head over. Wow, you're so handsome. Even with the crown. You both lined up directly in front of each other. It took a while to pass out the candy. Your hand. Oh, okay, gummies. I will definitely catch this then because gummies are my favorite. Your hand in a small bag of gummies that smell strongly fruity. Ugh. You notice Cove took it upon himself to do a taste test of a red one across from you. They're not bad. You should have waited to try one yourself. I try one myself. You end up grabbing a purple. Ew. Usually purples are not yummy. Red ones are better. It was sweet and you guessed it was supposed to be grape flavored, but it was mostly just really sugary. Waving in the face. And then it was time to begin. Cove's row was set to throw first. He smiled nervously, his eyes wide with seriousness. The game was on. What the fuck? Look at the way he looks. The adult in charge shouted for the throwers to go. You and Cove were only a couple feet away from each other. With Cove's careful toss, you caught the candy easily. Like you, most of the other players moved on to the next round. There were a few gaps in rows as everyone took a step back. Oops. The round was harder with pairs further apart, but not overly so. It could be done if both partners tried. You did your best as you tossed it, you had fun with it, but still tried. You threw the candy without a care. You made sure it missed? No, we're really trying to win because he was upset. He couldn't win the donkey tail game. You did your best as you tossed it. You carefully plucked a gummy from the bag and felt the weight. You really shifted it in your hand a couple times for practice and then told Cove you were ready. You went for an underhand throw, careful to aim for Cove's mouth. The blue candy arsed and landed perfectly. Arsed? Is that a word? Am I saying correctly? And landed perfectly in Cove's mouth. He chewed it twice and smiled widely. You could tell Ko was genuinely pleased to make it through another round. You're happy as well. He's like low-key, high-key, very competitive. The next round began. He took another step back. Ko was even further away now, but he made an okay sign. He was in this to win it. Around you, the once packed rows of players had thinned out some. You wonder how many rounds everyone had left in them. Ko swung his arm and made eye contact with you. You nodded, and the green candy flew towards you. You tried your best to catch it. You casually tried to catch it. You refused to have a green candy in your mouth. You did not try it. No, I'm trying my best. You followed the arc of the candy and opened your mouth wide. It had a slight spin on it, and you tilted your head to the left to compensate. You bit down the candy, grinning with your victorious catch. It tasted sweet and vaguely like a Slurpee. Ooh, that sounds yummy. He's so happy. He's like so pumped, dude. Ko was thrilled. He was entirely invested in this game at this point. We gotta win this. Please let us win this. You and Ko were still in the game. You knew this was the final round. Only a few other pairs were still left. Ko was determined to win. You could see in the clinch of his jaw the careful way he watched you. You were charmed by his attitude? Ooh, you equally wanted to win. You didn't want to let him down. You thought this was kind of funny. No, I am charmed. Because our boy is competitive as fuck. You liked having a partner that was so into the game. His determination sparked something in you. Admiration, an answering desire to win. You weren't sure. Ko gave you a firm grin and you prepared to throw. Your fingers grabbed an orange gummy from the bag. It felt solid in your grasp, even if your hand was starting to get sticky from touching all the sugary sweets. Ko leaned his face towards you and bent his knee, ready to catch. Oh, you're bending your knee in front of me? I'm kidding. The time came. You looked at the candy and then Ko. You tried your best, you threw it casually. You messed up the throw on purpose. We are not! You tried your best. Ko followed the candy with his eyes. Your throw unfortunately... No! Your throw unfortunately spun out to the side. It looked like a loss was on the horizon. But he made a move for it and it was good. He's... Okay, whew. You snatched the candy out of the air with the corner of his mouth. A wide grin spread in his face as Ko victoriously chomps down on the candy. Yes! Along with the cheer, he jumped up in excitement and pumped one arm. You look to your left and then to your right. You see the few remaining pairs walking away, commiserating at over their losses. With some shock, you realize that you and Ko were the only ones who made it that round. You won. Nice! You watched a moment Ko clicked into the same realization. His face brightened like sunshine and he jogged over to close the distance between you. You stepped closer to meet him halfway. Jump into a hug. You put an arm around Ko. You jump into a hug. You ruffle Ko's hair. You nudge him in a friendly way. You smiled at him. Fuck that hug. Hug's an option. Going for it. Kiss is an option. Fuck the hug. We're going kissy. His eyes went big when he realized you were going for a hug. He smiled and caught. Oh, okay. I thought he was about to reject me, and I was gonna be like real sad. He smiled and caught you, hugging you back tightly. You'd won this together. He giddily stomped his feet in place in front of you as though he couldn't contain his energy. You did it! You adjusted the hat that had nearly fallen off throughout the event. Nice catch! Ooh, we demolished the competition? No, nice catch. Nice throw! The game runner strode over and merrily gave you both a bunch more candy on top of letting you keep the gummy bags. We still had gummy bags? Gummies in our gummy bags? I thought it was like, you know, those like cheap little small bags that have like 8 pieces maybe. It was quite the collection. With the candy tossed over, you were going to need something else to do. You didn't have to wait long. You heard someone in the crowd shout that the bounce house was officially open for the older kids. You and Ko shared a look. Ko smiled and you knew who wanted in. You both ran over to the bouncy castle and kicked your shoes off. You crawled into the inflated castle with Cove hot on your heels. There were a couple other teens inside already. You started to get a feel for bouncing. Cove hopped from the middle to the side and back. Just after you landed from a particularly high jump, someone else snuck in. It was the birthday girl herself. Hi, Miranda. Hi, birthday girl. Miranda looked happy. She waved both her hands at you with a megawatt grin. Wow, I never knew that was like a term for smiling. I hope you're having fun. She hopped around with her hands in front of her like a kangaroo. It was a surprisingly effective way to clear distance in the bounce house. She then jumped high, kicking both her legs out to the side and touched the tips of her toes with her fingers. Wow! Miranda hadn't run out of tricks yet. She jumped a couple more times, gaining height, before doing a backflip and tucking into a ball. She managed to land on her feet, but didn't stick the landing. She tumbled back and fell on her butt. Code clapped and Miranda inclined her head, almost like a bow. She was back to jumping in no time. You're so good at this. She bounced close enough to the two of you to talk without shouting across the way. Cove's bouncing slowed down to accommodate their conversation.
My family gets these every year. And we have a trampoline in the backyard.
I hope you guys heard that. Probably didn't, but it's right there. You're so lucky, Miranda. That's really cool. And do flips too. And added along the conversation, clapped for stunts. That's really cool. Miranda giggled a bit, and then her eyes sparkled. Hey, I can launch someone if you want. Launch someone? If I jump in front of you, then your bounce would go higher. Oh, I thought you were gonna yeet me. I was like, whoa. Not me. Because I was so thrown off. You want to do Cove? Not me. That's okay. We can still have fun. Can you launch me? Oh, thank you, Cove. Be a good sport. Because your girl was... No, thank you. Bounce houses always scared me. Because, like, I don't know how to balance well. And I'm always on my fucking ass. So. Miranda didn't hesitate. She started jumping with more force and getting closer to Cove. Of course. Wait, do I want this happening? She's getting close to Cove. It's whatever. You watch as Miranda told Cove how he'd get the best results. She gave him a count and tried to time it so that he'd jump right when she touched down. You stood a few feet away, but even though you caught some of the energy from their bounces, the bounce house's floor rippled slightly under your feet. Cove took turns launching Miranda after he understood how it worked. She, in turn, did tricks that wouldn't be possible without the added height. It was exciting to watch. You all had fun bouncing around. You twirled, Miranda did stunts, Cove futilely tried to touch the highest tip in the castle ceiling. You and Cove chatted with Miranda more than you ever had at school. She truly was the queen of this bouncing castle. Whenever someone did something cool, everyone would cheer. If you fell, the others would help you up. Aww, such a supportive group of people. Eventually, more people wanted to take turns in the bounce house, so you and Cove left. As you slipped on your shoes and saw Miranda get drawn into conversation with a group of adults, she would be talking to them for a while. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. You went to the party table and grabbed some ice water. Cove handed you a party noise maker he'd pick up from the same table. He blew on his and it made a funny sound when it unrolled. Cove downed his drink in a couple gulps. He had gotten pretty into bouncing after all. Oh! So cute. You were still swimming in water when Cove blew on his noisemaker again. Then again and again. Oh my god, you're killing me. It was almost a tune. You don't recognize any particular melody, but a noisemaker also isn't an instrument. The noise cut through the hum of the other party guests, loud and noticeable. You ask Cove to stop. You start blowing your own noisemaker. You blew your noisemaker back at Cove. You're amused by Cove's antics. Yeah, what if I blew it back at him? Would he be mad? I'm so hesitant that he'll be mad. You blew hard enough to unfurl the paper completely straight. It jetted towards Cove, almost tapping his chin. Oh my god, his fucking face is like, oh, you want a challenge? Cove wasn't going to. Oh my god. He doesn't fucking stop, dude. Just when I thought Cove couldn't get better, he gets better. He gets so competitive over the smallest shit. Cove wasn't going to let that stand. He retaliated and blew his back at you. It nearly touched your nose. It was a game now. Both of you tried to land a light hit on the other. Cove managed to get your chin while you scored right in between his eyes.
Oh great. You people again.
Jeremy! Jeremy, is that fucking you? Are you ready to get the blap blap with my fist? Bro! I did not expect this turnaround. Someone vaguely familiar shouted and you snapped your head to the side. Cove's noisemaker dropped from his mouth. Oh well. 5-second roll, grab it real fast, Cove. The speaker stepped up and there's no doubt it was Jeremy. That mean boy you met at the start of summer. You groaned at the sight of him. Oh hey, it's the bowl cut kid. You felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. You instantly got angry at his presence. That's literally what I just did. You tried to ignore Jeremy being there. You tried being polite. Fuck it. Instantly angry. It was an emotion that could only be labeled as Jeremy-induced rage, and you suddenly had an excess of it. Listen here. Why are you here? Cove's tone was... I guess his is much nicer than what I'm about to do. Cove's tone was defensive. You watched Jeremy's face turn slack as if Cove's question was the idiocy above all idiocies. Didn't I already explain this? No. If you were talking to us prior, we did not pay attention. He hadn't, so both you and Cove exchanged your look. Do you have memory loss, or are you really that stupid? Seriously.
I didn't walk here.
My parents brought me. Apparently, I couldn't just stay inside like I wanted. Do you know who this is? Do you know who Miranda is? No, they insisted that I get out, enjoy the day, and have fun on vacation. Blah, blah, blah. He said enjoy the day and have fun on vacation, like some people would say scrub the entire bathroom or listen to an off-key singer for 10 hours. They found a park because I hate the beach. Too bad I also hate parks. Ugh, it's dirty here. You're just a park goer. You're not part of the party. They don't know anything. Oh, and then they saw this stupid party and decided to bother some adults by asking what was going on. They think maybe we could be included. It's moronic. Get it now? That's how my parents are. Annoying and embarrassing. Why would anybody want strangers at their birthday? Why can't they just ever leave things alone? But I like your parents. From what I remember, they owned that little cute shop and stuff. He huffed loudly and his eyes shot daggers at some grown-ups that presumably were his parents. That's really awkward. That doesn't sound very bad. And all you can do is complain about it. It sucks to be you! You tried to be friendly and welcome Jeremy to the party. You didn't bother trying to respond to that mess of a rant. I mean, that is awkward, you know? But like, they're in a area where everyone seems friendly to each other. So even if you are a stranger, they will welcome you as your family. So I'm not gonna say anything. This was not your problem and you wanted to keep it that way. Jeremy's eyes slipped away from you to take in the rest of the park for a bit. It was a little awkward. It was possible he didn't know what to do, but then he spoke again.
So dumb.
How can people really go around in those embarrassing party hats? Do they think it's fun or something? How could a human being be so dumb? It's just kind of nice to do party stuff. Jeremy scoffed, unimpressed. The expression on his face was nasty as he spoke. I'm not surprised an empty-headed person like you would think that. He's asking to be hit. Jeremy looked you over, completely dismissive. It's so rude you can't help but feel offended. Cole's face hardened. He seemed more offended than when anyone actually insulted him personally. Oh.
Hey.
Just because you don't know how to be happy doesn't mean no one else does. And it's not our fault if you hate everything. It's not okay for you to take it out on Michiko. She isn't doing anything wrong. You are. Jeremy seemed unfazed by Cole's defense and sniffed. Michiko can humiliate herself on her own. She doesn't need you to step in and do it for her. You little bitch! You little bitch, Jeremy! Yo, I could pour my drink on Jeremy. You push Jeremy. Oh my god, I could punch him in the face. You drowned out his words with your noisemaker. You stood still shocked. You teared up. Your girl's already mad. Technically, if I wasn't mad, I would already be crying. But your girl's already mad. I'm not gonna punch him in the face. That's too fucking rude. I want to like physically show him how angry I am, but I don't want to show that side to like in front of Cove. You know, you gotta keep the appearance. I'm just gonna blow the noisemaker. Fuck it, it'll annoy him. You're both, dude. You're, dude. It didn't take long for you to be. I think that's more funny anyway. It didn't take long for us to piece together that you weren't gonna let him speak without interruption.
Stupid.
Alright, I don't care. He shut his mouth though and finally stopped talking. You're a dick. Yo, my girl could just outright just say that. You're ruining someone's birthday? I'm gonna find your parents and tell them what's going on. Don't say anything like that ever again. He left a distraction. He said nothing. Dude, you're a dick. I could just outright say that? Oh, I feel that's too mean though. Like, I don't like Jeremy. This Jeremy right here. I like his future one, even though that's one. I mean, his future one is also like, you know, kind of awkward to be around. But he's not mean. He's not this mean. Shit. I don't like any of these choices. I'm sure he don't give a shit if we go and tell his parents. Miranda doesn't know anything about it. The whole "you're a dick" is just so rude. I say nothing. People were starting to watch what was going down. Your argument was... Isn't my mom's here too? Good thing I didn't punch him. Or else they'll be really upset at me. People were starting to watch what was going down. Your argument was exactly quiet at this point. Why don't you just leave us alone if we're so awful? Jeremy glared even more and huffed.
Dumbasses.
He just called me a dumbass. I should have just called him a dick. Talking to you is pointless. Motherfucker. Oh, motherfucker. No, I'm not gonna stoop that low. I can't stoop that low in front of Cove. He stalked off the last time you saw him, muttering under his breath. You blew your noisemaker after him with a final long toot. Cove sighed in relief after Jeremy was gone. He relaxed, but only for a moment. He noticed just how much attention you'd drawn from the other guests. Luckily, you hadn't gone on long enough to get a real crowd. A concerned adult in a blue buttoned-up shirt approached you and asked who that was and if everyone was alright.
Okay.
I'm fine. Cove looked at you cautiously, asking just as much as they'll do if you were okay. Everything's fine now. You don't have to worry about us. Cove is so kind. I'm just mentally hurt. You know, physically I'm fine, but not mentally. The concerned adult lingered for a few seconds, but not any left you alone. Jeremy fiasco was officially over. Cove rubbed his eyes, clearly ready to put all that nonsense behind him. Then he started laughing. It was a surprised laugh, breaking out of his chest without any actual joy. It was nervous and disbelieving and all the complex emotions brought about by one meeting with Jeremy. I can't believe it. Sorry, what did he say? He spoke in fits and starts. The look on his face after you started with it was hilarious. How can Jeremy be like that? He shouted at us, he barely knows us. And it was at a birthday party for somebody he's never met. You agreed Jeremy was totally nuts. You wish that you had done something more. You hoped that you would never see him again. You weren't sure how you feel. You were just happy Jeremy was gone. You felt sad that he was so mean. I think it'll be sad because you know his words did hurt. He called us a dumbass and then he called me like whatever. Does it really have to always be that way? Cove seemed to think about his next words carefully before he spoke. I don't think it matters what we do around him. Jeremy's just gonna yell no matter what. We shouldn't worry about it. Do you want me to tell your moms? About Jeremy, I mean? Oh, look at him! He's telling moms for me? He always picks a fight. Maybe they know how to handle someone like him. Thanks for asking. You decided to bring it up to your moms later, or you want to keep this between you and Cove? You see, I always hide shit from my moms in the game. Let's actually tell them this time. I'll let them know everything. Okay. You apologized to Cove for making him wear the party hat. You decided to drop the topic. Should I apologize? I did kind of force him into it. Sorry. I'm sorry, Cove. It's my fault you're wearing the hat in the first place. Cove shook his head. If anything, he seemed surprised at your apology.
Don't worry about it.
I don't mind that you did. It's been fun. This whole day has been fun, except for Jeremy, and he's gone now. He reached up and flicked his hat with pride, giving you a small grin and made you happy. Finally, you bent over to pick up the noisemaker that Cove dropped when Jeremy appeared. It might be too dirty to use now, but you didn't want to leave it there. You accepted it softly when you offered the little favor back to him. Thanks, Michiko. I like how we can be there for each other. It makes me feel better about that kind of stuff when it happens. Me too! Yeah. Not me about to fucking cry. Cove suggested that you should find a seat at one of the tables. It was almost cake time and he wanted to be prepared. It was a good reminder that the party wasn't over yet. There's a free table there. Let's get ready for some cake. You and Cole tried to settle down after your last event. You took seats across from one another at one of the park tables. There were a few attempts to chat, but for the most part, you simply watched your adults run around to set up the cake cutting. There was a minor panic when who you assumed was Miranda's dad apparently forgot the lighter of the candles. He and another man went through and started asking the other adults for matches or lighters. They weren't having any luck until the grim-faced teenager who had been passing out party hats pulled a green lighter out of the ice cream cooler. What the hell? Why the lighter was put in that cooler remained a mystery, but with the party hat girl's mind, it was time to get things going again. Miranda sat at the head of the longest table. A large chocolate cake was set in front of her. Dude, I want cake. She lit all 14 candles with the cooler lighter with a big smile. The adults started singing happy birthday and the rest of the guests joined in. At the end of the song, Miranda blew out the candles with a dedicated huff. She closed her eyes and you saw her silently mouthing something. Maybe it was a birthday wish. Miranda cut her own slice, then one of the grown-ups took over the cutting. took over cutting the cake. Oh, Cove, you're like a pretty princess. Another adult passed around plates of cakes with plates of cake slices with a vanilla ice cream to the gas. Eventually, the cake got around to you and Cove. Cove was pleased with the treat in general. The cake looked rich and moist. It smelled quite chocolatey. You only wanted to eat the ice cream, you only wanted the cake, you wanted both the cake and the ice cream, you did not want anything on your plate. No, it's both. What the? You took a bite of the ice cream. The vanilla wasn't bad, it was a little bland. The chocolate cake, however, was a rich flavor. Cove then took his fork and started mashing up some of his cake. When the cake resembled a pile of crumbly chunks, he started mixing it into the ice cream. The melted parts of the ice cream made a kind of chocolate cake soup. You raised your eyebrow, you told him to do you told him you do the same thing, you thought it looked gross, I've never done that, you didn't react. No, what the heck? Don't people not do you guys not do that? I mean, it saves time from just picking from one and the other, so just swirl it. I also like cake that way. Yeah, isn't it good? Though it's better with brownies. As he shoved a bite of ice cream cake in his mouth, he looked extremely validated. Cove contently chowed down on his concoction. One advantage to his mix is that the ice cream seemed to catch most of the crumbs that would usually fall from eating a cake. Unlike some of the kids around him, Cove's shirt remained clean. You started eating your dessert in earnest. You enjoyed yourself plenty. Cove suddenly put his fork down on his plate and stared up to the sky with a faraway expression. He checked but didn't see anything attention-grabbing. The ice cream is better than those ones in cups, with the little wooden spoons, but I still kind of want that instead. Aww. Do you remember what kind he was talking about? Oh yeah, like the ones handed out at the barbecue before the fireworks happened.
Right.
Oh, so cute. Cove smiled nostalgically at the thought. You could picture younger Cove for a moment with the same look in his eyes. You remember how your mom tried to share with everyone that night. Oh, I could offer. You offered him a bite of your dessert. You asked him if you could have a bite of his dessert. He smiled at the mirror. No, what? Last time we drank out of his drink, so let's offer him a bite and see if he'll accept. He'll probably reach out to me, but it's fine, I guess. Do you want any of mine? Cove raised his eyebrow at your offer. What? You told him you're serious. You laughed along with him. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Being adamant. Told him you're serious. Really, Cove, let's share. Cove shook his head over that. It was clear he thought that was a little silly, but he was willing to go along with it for your sake. Wait! He gave in! Oh my god, Cove, you're spoiling me. He grabbed your fork and took a bite with an affectionate, soft expression. He couldn't believe you were like this. He smiled. You gave in! Thanks, Cove. Yo, if Cove was real, he would spoil his girl so much. Girl or guy, actually. He would just spoil his lover so fucking much. Miranda then started to open her gifts. She systematically attacked them out in her presence like a pro. She checked for any cards and read them aloud. Oh no, why? What if it's like personal? Read them loudly before opening a gift. She smiled at every present, including the ones you and Cove got her. You were glad the presents were accepted. It took time, but eventually Miranda got through all the gifts. She was very sweet and polite throughout it all. The party, holy fuck, this is about to be an hour. The party went until the sun began to set. By the point, most of everything had settled down and people had begun to leave. Any of the guests whose parents had stayed for the party were already gone, except for Miranda's family. Only a few kids still waiting for their parents to come and get them remained, you and Cove included. Oh, so my parents weren't here. Miranda's family were cleaning up, and as a guest, neither you nor Cove were supposed to help with that. Instead, you both had decided to take it easy in the bouncing castle. It was somewhere out of the way where you could casually wait for your ride. Miranda had also elected to hang out with you. You weren't even bouncing anymore. Cove laid on his side with his back to the wall, and Miranda sat across from him with her legs stretched out. You also made yourself comfortable. It was nice and warm in the little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak openly here. Thanks for coming. She looked down but continued shyly. It's been really cool to get to hang out with you a little bit. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't think I'd be invited. Thanks for me too, Miranda. Yeah, I was expecting it either. I'm so happy I could come. You shrugged. You chose not to respond. Thanks for me too, Miranda. Miranda just smiled a little more. Did you notice anything happening earlier? With some people you don't know showing up? She had to think about his question a little. It was apparent that she didn't have an encounter with Jeremy since there was no instant recognition. I heard about something. Some other parents were talking to my parents when their kid came and forced them to leave the park. Oh shit, forced? She tilted her head to the side, finding it weird but also not important. Then everyone had cake and ice cream. Cuz smiled uncomfortably. That's good. He was clearly worried that the Jeremy confrontation could have gotten to her. Luckily, it didn't seem that anyone had overheard or passed along Jeremy's cruel words. Cove rolled over on his back and sighed contentedly. Miranda seemed confused but wasn't going to push. You got up and started bouncing again. You laid back and closed your eyes to rest. You changed the subject. You told her about the ordeal. No, man. Just chill. The air-filled floor was comfy, and when you listened, you could feel the vibrations of the blur keeping this bounce house up. The sun stretched between everyone. You opened your eyes to take a peek at the others. Cove was still relaxing, but Miranda was looking between you two, looking confused. You smiled to yourself and closed your eyes once more. You spent the rest of the time content and dozing until it was time to go home. At the end of the day, you thought it had been quite the party. Miranda was like, what do I do? Do I join you guys and just chill? Or she probably wanted to jump a little bit more, or she was curious about the situation that we just never told her. I don't know if she's going to be a reoccurring character that we'll see in step 3 or not. We'll find out. But the next one is summer work, and I hope we're getting like a little study session with Cove and all the others. Well, technically not the others because they don't attend the same school, right? Well, besides Lee. Maybe Lee will be there. Derek will be just chilling. I don't know. But anywho, this is probably the longest DLC story ever. And it's the one that went up and down with my emotions. So I'm not complaining. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.